What is up, my fellow fantasy basketball enthusiasts? My name is Matt Modi. I am the host of the Betting Pros Fast Break Bets, and we are here to dive into the exciting world of fantasy basketball. Specifically, in this video, I'm going to give you 5 fantasy basketball sleepers for you to dominate your draft this season. When it comes to fantasy basketball, it might not be the same behemoth as fantasy football, but guess what? That's actually a good thing for the purposes of this video. All of the analysis over the course of the offseason is beaten to death when it comes to fantasy football. That's not the case with fantasy basketball. So thanks to this video, I can give you 5 sleepers to help you crush your fantasy basketball drafts. And I do want to say before we get started, sleeper is a different definition depending on who you ask. For the purposes of this video, we are simply defining a sleeper as someone going a little bit later in the draft that we think is going to beat their projected ADP. But most importantly, before we get into the analysis, I do want to let you in on a fantastic resource for all of your fantasy basketball needs. We're talking about FantraX. FantraX is the home of fantasy sports. They have year-round engagement, dynasty mastery, multi-team trades, the ultimate customization of pretty much whatever type of league you could possibly want. You can trade future draft picks. They have unique scoring categories. They have massive league sizes, multi-division leagues as well. Overall, FantraX is your one-stop shop for the ultimate fantasy basketball experience. Go ahead and visit fantrax.com/fantasypros to get started today. Starting off, our very first sleeper is going to be Russell Westbrook, point guard of the Clippers. I know it might sound silly putting someone with the name value, the name brand of Russell Westbrook on a sleeper list. Former MVP, has averaged triple-double multiple times in his career, but the thing is, he is significantly underdrafted in this fantasy basketball landscape. He is going in the 11th round. Players around him, Al Horford, Kevin Huerter, and the reality is, with the Clippers, they're probably going to have some injury concerns with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. He is most likely going to play a massive role on this Clippers team. In 21 games with the Clippers last year, he averaged 15.8 points, 4.9 rebounds, and 7.6 assists. Sure, he is far removed from the Russell Westbrook that we've seen in his Oklahoma City days, even when he was on the Wizards, but he's still a well-rounded player that helps in so many categories, and getting him as late as you can is an absolute steal. It's easy to find players who put up points in the later rounds, but you will not be able to find somebody that can put up that kind of rebound and assist production as late in the rounds as you can with Russell Westbrook. So for our very first sleeper, love Russell Westbrook. Next up, our second fantasy basketball sleeper, we are going with Mark Williams, center of the Hornets. So Mark Williams, he didn't play very much at the beginning of last year. They had a pretty muddled center rotation, but it cleared up once the Hornets traded Mason Plumlee. And then this offseason, it cleared up even more with the mystery surrounding Kai Jones, who's no longer even on the team. Mark Williams should see the full complement of starter minutes. And when he did that last year, when he started, he averaged 11.6 points, 9.8 rebounds, and 1.1 blocks per game, shooting over 62% from the field. For this season, he presumably, hopefully, fingers crossed, gets to play with a healthy LaMelo Ball. That should only help his point production as well as his field goal percentage, catching lobs from LaMelo. Obviously, there is some risk associated with Mark Williams hitching your wagon to LaMelo Ball, but even if LaMelo Ball gets hurt again, Mark Williams should still have value. So I think he is an excellent sleeper as our second sleeper pick for this video. Third up, our third sleeper, I really like Jordan Poole, point guard / shooting guard for the Wizards. Jordan Poole for this Wizards team that has the lowest over-under of any projected team in the NBA. He is going to have the ultimate green light. He is going to be able to shoot pretty much whenever he wants. It might not look pretty, and it's probably going to be pretty inefficient on most nights, but the reality is Jordan Poole is the second best player on the Wizards, and he's never been shy to quote unquote get his. The guy loves to shoot. He loves to get buckets. He averaged only 30 minutes per game last year in what was clearly a lost season for the Warriors. Still put up a career high in points per game with 20.4. He's almost guaranteed to have those minutes increase along with his usage rate. He could easily get to 25 points per game this year. Last year, he only averaged 15.6 shots per game. That number is going to dramatically increase on a bad Wizards team this year. If the preseason is any indication, when he put up 41 points in 3 quarters, Jordan Poole might lose a lot of games, but he might help you win a lot of games in your fantasy basketball league as our third sleeper for this video. Our fourth pick, our penultimate pick for this sleeper video, we're going to go with Bennedict Mathurin, shooting guard / shooting forward for the Indiana Pacers. Now, this next thought I'm going to make is not the most unique, not the most profound thought analysis that you will hear in the world, but a great place to start with sleepers is to target second-year players that should have a jump in both usage rate, playing time, as well as just their overall performance. They're going to see their roles expanded. Granted, a lot of these players have this increased role baked into their ADP with the fantasy basketball landscape, assuming they're going to take on a bigger role. But that's not the case with Bennedict Mathurin for the Pacers. He is going at the end of the 15th round, the 15th/16th turn. He's most likely going to start as the 2 guard for the Pacers, and he's blessed starting next to one of the best pure passing point guards in the entire league with Pacers point guard Tyrese Halliburton. Last year, Bennedict Mathurin averaged 16.7 points and 4.1 rebounds per game, and that was in only 28.5 minutes per game. Overall, he only started 17 games. All of those numbers should increase in his second year, and that's not even to mention the fact of what's going to happen with Buddy Hield if he gets traded, if he doesn't. If he does get traded, that's even more of an expanded role for Bennedict Mathurin. So he should be a steal in the 15th/16th round for your fantasy basketball league as our second to last, fourth sleeper pick for this video. Last, but certainly not least, our fifth and final sleeper pick for this video, we are going with Jabari Smith, power forward / center for the Rockets. Now, have I mentioned before that I like targeting second-year players? Because that is exactly what we're doing again with Jabari Smith Jr. He's another example where the ADP just hasn't quite caught up yet to the fact that he could have an expanded role and just how much expanded his role could be. He's going in the 10th round. Now, something that is important to monitor is for the Rockets is going to be the status of guard Kevin Porter Jr. My guess, and this is just a guess, is that he will not end up playing for the Rockets, whether he's out of the league entirely or they cut him, or he's on the team but just not playing. I am not expecting him to play for the Rockets, which just leaves more minutes for Jabari Smith Jr. to gobble up. Smith Jr. was the 2022 third overall pick. He had a slow start to his rookie year, but he ended the season absolutely on fire. He had 5 double-doubles in his last 11 games, and he scored double-digit points in all 11 of those games as well. I know 11 games is a small sample size, but that's kind of what you need to look at when you look at rookie players, right? How do they do to end the season? What can we build off of the following year? And another thing I love about this pick is that the Rockets played at the 3rd fastest pace in the NBA last year. It's great for fantasy basketball because it leaves ample opportunity for your players to rack up stats. They should play at a fast pace again this year, so that is good news for us. Overall, Jabari Smith Jr. averaged 12.9 points, 7.2 rebounds per game last year while playing about 31 minutes a game as well, rounding out our 5th and final sleeper pick for this video. Appreciate everybody for watching. As always, please remember that for all of your fantasy basketball needs, make sure to go visit Fantrax, the home of fantasy sports, year-round engagement, dynasty mastery, multi-team trades, the ultimate way to customize your league, including much, much more. Fantrax has you covered. Go to fantrax.com/fantasypros. Take your fantasy basketball experience to the next level. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today, and best of luck on your fantasy basketball journey. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff to stay updated on all things fantasy basketball. Until next time, happy drafting. Hope you're able to target some of these sleepers, and may your fantasy team reign supreme, and have a good one.